Good morning. Welcome to overcast Winnipeg. At least I think it's overcast. Either that or very heavy fog. It was kind of nice first thing this morning. I could see sort of a red tinge over top of the berm, over the bridge. I thought, it looks pretty good. But as the morning progressed here, and it actually got quite foggy. Looking at the back of my car, which you can't see, but it almost looks like there's rain on the back of it, but it's not. It's just moisture. The streets are dry, and I did check the weather, and they're predicting sunshine for today. So I don't know. I guess I'll be able to get out. Where am I going here? Okay. We ended up yesterday wondering if the piece R8 was going to be slightly blocked and not fit right because of the blob of solder that was on the side on that part. And there is that possibility. I got my sprues over here, as well as the R8. We also have to get some other pieces here that have to be fastened onto this part. Okay. Yeah, there's still a little bit of stuff yet that we have to do for yeah. If I look over here in I think that R8, how far up does this thing have to? Why don't we just get it? And instead of talking about it, why don't we just get it? Recompose here, move in so that you can see what's going on. Missy the dog has not come by yet, so we are ready. Yeah. 15.6 Celsius. Not bad. About the same as yesterday. So, yeah, winter's not here yet. Okay. Let's recompose here and check out our R8. Okay, R8. Okay, here's what's happened. When I was cleaning the flashing and everything and sprue connections off of the side of this, I must have bent this little part, this little stem, and when I tried to straighten it, I broke it completely off. I have since glued it back on. It's not quite straight, but I used the extra thin quick setting. Now the quick setting didn't seem to be melding the way I thought it should be, so I'm just going to redo it here with the extra thin, which I know seems to meld pretty good. And then we're just going to leave this piece for a while and move on to something else. Missy's going out for her walk right now. All right, well, be ready, Ron, be ready. Yeah, in the meantime, we'll get the macro lens on and okay, now hopefully when the plastic liquefies and then hardens back together, it will be almost as strong as it was before it broke. Now, of course, it won't, but if we're careful, it might still work. Maybe I should add just a little bit more here.
Morning, Ron.
Good morning.
We snuck in the back way.
Yeah, I'm surprised because it would have been wet.
It was wet, but Missy wanted to go up towards the bridge.
Okay.
Foggy.
Yeah, it is foggy. Surprisingly, it wasn't foggy first thing this morning.
No, it wasn't.
The sun was sort of a nice sunrise over the bridge there, and hang on, Missy.
Rainey had me come to the back door. She said, "Look at the mist pouring over the berm," and it was flowing down out of the north. It's like fog was on the farmer's fields or something, and the breeze had pushed it south.
Yeah,
It was a strange phenomenon.
we don't get that very often. Okay, come on. Thank you for coming, Missy.
You're the best, Uncle Ron. Have a good one.
Okay.
I mean, if it's going to heat up, fine, but it hasn't started to heat up very much so far.
No, it's pretty foggy.
Yeah. Kind of cool and damp. Thanks, Rod.
Bye, Missy. Yeah, cool and damp. Missy the dog. Missy the dog. Alrighty. Now I'm thinking that probably in about 2 or 3 hours this should be to the place where we can maybe put a little bit of stress on it. Wonder if maybe I should have tried to bend it a little bit straighter. Probably too late now. Yeah, I think I better just leave well enough alone. I know now how that part is supposed to fit on this piece here. So okay, let's you know what? I think I'm gonna go do some editing. See what I got here. Okay, we basically have the first half of our manual done here, or step 23. Unless I missed something. And we're now in this section right here. We've got to add a lot of pieces to this part. And I believe they are all on the N, the U, and the L sprues. So where's the L sprue? Oh, and T sprue. Okay, the L sprue, we gotta get it. We'll get it. Okay, as you can see here, a lot of time has passed. I did get out on my bike this morning. I went to Tim Hortons over by Safeway here. We've been there one time before on the bike this summer. And anyway, I went in and I had a rather interesting thing happen. So I go in, it's quite busy. If you remember in yesterday's ride the Timmy's out on Headmaster, it was busy too. Maybe I gotta start going at a different time. You know, not during coffee break time for the people that are working. Anyway, I'm standing there in line and I eventually get my small coffee black, and I go and find a place to sit down, and I saw a table off in the distance, sort of, that there was nobody sitting at it. So I'm thinking, oh, good. Now, there were single places that a person could sit, but they were the kind of thing that had those really high bar stool type chairs, but they're the kind that have the back and everything on them. And for me to get into one of those, it's almost like trying to struggle into a real high baby chair, you know. So I didn't take it, but at least not at first. So I went to this table and I sat down. Now at this table there was a little placemat, and my first thought was, oh, Timmy's is putting placemats out now. No, that's not what happened. And also there was a magazine, but it was the kind of magazine that that you get for free that are in these racks, you know, that they went selling cars or something like that. It was one of those kind of magazines. So I thought, oh, somebody's just left their stuff and they didn't bother cleaning up after themselves. You run into that a lot. And so I sat down, and I'm there long enough to, you know, take my helmet off and sip my coffee. You know how I usually do it. And I'm sitting there, and after a couple of minutes, yeah, I guess about 2 minutes, along comes a guy, and he says, hello. He indicates that is my placemat, and that's my magazine. In other words, you're sitting at my table. But it wasn't that way about it, but that's what it meant. Well, I was a little bit miffed, because here I had been standing in line, and while I'm standing in line waiting to get served, somebody walks in behind me and takes and reserves themselves a table. In the meantime, they don't have any food. That's the way I looked at it. So all of this scenario flashes through my mind, and I say to him, "Oh," I said, "well, you can sit down there and join me." Well, he says, "There's somebody else with me." "Oh," I said, "he can sit beside you." You know, I guess I was really miffed. Anyway, eventually I got up and I said, "Come on, guys, I'll move." So I went and I sat in one of those high baby bar stool chair things. Eventually got myself into it. But what do you think? Do you think that if you're in a place like that and you're standing in line and you're waiting to get your stuff, and behind you somebody walks in and they reserve a table for themselves, they have no food. In the meantime, you've got food. Who should have the right for that table? Anyway, I'll know now if there's a little placemat sitting on the table that somebody's trying to reserve it for themselves. I don't want to cause a scene. Anyway, I guess those two guys probably weren't too happy with me for a while, but I did move. All right, let's get back to this here. Well, I didn't video that, so don't bother watching the motorcycle ride hoping to see the confrontation with the two other customers. And it wasn't really a confrontation. They were quiet about it, you know. So, in fact, now that I think about it, they were nicer than I was to them. Cranky old man, they probably thought. Okay, yeah, let's see what we can do here. See if we can get some pieces on this. Okay, so we also need the L sprue, so we'll get it. I can't remember how far back it was that this happened, but if you remember, there was an L14 fastened on right here, and it was a little bit broken. I said maybe we better get that nipped off, and we'll put it in the test tube, which I've done here. And yeah, so no, I don't know if there's any difference between the 14 and the 15. This one is the 14, so let's see if we can get it to come out of there now. Probably won't. Oh, sure. Go in the wrong one. Well, I could do a retake and you'd never know, but there we go. L14. Now, L15. Yeah, we'll keep them separate just in case there's a slight difference in them. Let's try not to bend this one. Okay. Okay. Let's get some more parts here. I think that's all we need off of the L sprue. N20. And 21. Okay, we need 2 T28s. And there are 2 of these T-sprues. Good thing, because there's only 128 on each one. Okay, this N12, we got that quite a while ago. That's actually this piece right here. You remember we got it because we wanted to see how the top of the tripod would plug into it. Okay, so now we know. We got that piece. But we've got to get the U31s, and as near as I can see, we need 4 of them. But I was looking at this, and I was thinking, well, what about the 4 that go on the other side? And because usually on a ship, everything's sort of done in mirror image. You know, one side has it, so does the other side. And I thought, well, why would these parts, which I now believe are possibly some sort of floodlights, but I'm not sure, or maybe loudspeakers? I have no idea. Maybe I can find a picture of it, or maybe somebody knows. Yeah, why are they not on the other side here? And then I realized that this piece is going to be sitting on top of the island, which is basically completely over on one side of the ship. So they wouldn't need it on the other side unless they wanted to, you know, have it look out over the ocean. So, all right, U31, we need 4 of them. Now, there's only 1 on each sprue, but there are 6 of these sprues. Could be that later on we're going to be needing another couple of these things. Yeah, if anybody knows what these are, I think they look like maybe loudspeakers, but they'd be huge if they were loudspeakers. You know, you multiply this by 200 times, and but to my way of thinking, that almost looks like a speaker. Well, it could be a loudspeaker. Yeah. Okay, I got these pieces all cleaned up here now, except for our L14. That's the one that's got the little bend in it. And just when I was gonna go and clean this one up, my phone rings, and it's our friend Tennessee Jim from down in Tennessee. And he was saying something to the effect of, you may have noticed I haven't commented recently. We've been feeling a little bit poorly, but he's on the mend now, so that's good. Anyway, I just thought I'd pass that on to you. Some of you folks will know who Tennessee is. He's you've also commented on his comments, a lot of you. Okay, these are all done. Yeah, everything's right. I tried to keep them as round as possible. I'm gonna have to call her quits though for today. So thanks for watching, everybody, and all being well, we're gonna see you tomorrow.